Welcome to VCC Connection. My name is Raye, and I am really glad you're with me today. Just one person. Just one person can make all the difference in the world. That's what I want to talk about today. Just one person. And you might be saying, what is she talking about, just one person? Well, you see, I watched a movie, The Lomax. It's a Dr. Seuss story. And basically in that story, a young boy lives in a world where there are no trees, no oxygen, no anything. And he hears a story of what the world was like before and what happened. And he takes the risk and he plants a seed. And from that seed, trees grow and the world is changed. Just one person made a difference. Dr. Seuss wrote this line, which was in the movie, and he said, "Unless someone like you cares a whole lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not." Just one person can turn a group of houses and the people who live in them into a neighborhood, a community. That reminded me of a commercial we saw, I think it was over the Christmas holidays. And in this commercial, a woman gets in the elevator of her apartment building after work and her arms are loaded with groceries and nobody looks up from their phones. She gets off the elevator, walks down the hall to her apartment, and it's quiet. All the doors are shut. She walks into her apartment and her roommate doesn't even notice that she's come in. She's a little frustrated. The scene changes. And now the door of her apartment is open and she and her roommate are bringing their table and chairs out into the hall and loading that table with food. And they sit down. And slowly, one by one, the doors of that apartment building on that floor open. And people look out. And they're invited to join this woman and her roommate. And they do. They come out with their tables and chairs and more food and more food and more tables and chairs. And there they all are enjoying each other's company, and they're all different. All nationalities, ages. Except there's one door on the floor that's not open. I'm sorry, this always touches my heart. And a young girl gets up from the table and walks to that door and she knocks. The door opens and a grumpy old man looks out, sees what's happening, shakes his head no and steps back. But that one girl, she reaches in and she takes his hand and she says, come to the table. And he changes his mind and he comes. And suddenly this quiet, blank, dead floor is full of life and conversation and laughter and friendship. And it all started with one person who decided to do something. Simple, but to do something. And it changed that floor into a neighborhood, into a community, maybe even a family. It only takes one person saying a kind word to draw a person out of darkness and into light. It only takes one person with the love of Jesus in their hearts to draw someone into the presence of Jesus. I want you to remember that in the scripture, God uses just one person many times. God chose one person, Abraham. And from Abraham came the Hebrew nation. And that nation was to reveal God to the world. God took one young man, David, and he killed the giant Goliath, which was a turning point in the nation. David became king, a man after God's own heart. God took one man, his only begotten Son, and he gave him to us. He sent him to earth to live, to die, and then to live again in resurrected life so that we could be changed. You see, it only takes one person. My question for you is, will you be that one person today who speaks life into someone, who makes the difference in a community? You know what? No, just within your own family will you be that one person. I encourage you, step out with God today and make a difference. Make a difference. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.